Lindsie Chrisley was a hot topic on Todd Chrisley's podcast last week. Todd admitted that he isn't usually comfortable making her a talking point. But there were a few things that needed to be cleared up. For starters, he needed to address rumors that he wasn't really Lindsie's biological father. He also wanted to discuss the rift between him and his daughter a bit. Supporters of his estranged daughter, as well as those who enjoy stirring the pot, didn't waste time rushing back to Lindsie's Instagram. Now, Lindsie Chrisley also wasted no time firing back at her father. In fact, fans believe she indirectly implied her father was full of bulls ***. What's going on between Lindsie and Todd Chrisley right now? Keep reading? We've got the scoop. During his podcast last week, Todd spent a lot of time discussing his daughter Lindsie. In fact, he mentioned her in the Instagram posts promoting his podcast episode 2. For starters, he blasted Katie Joy from Without a Crystal Ball. He pointed out that Katie and Lindsie are friends, and Katie says whatever Lindsie tells her. He noted that Lindsie was involved in reporting him to the IRS regardless of what she or Katie claims to be true. Likewise, he added that he has receipts to prove Lindsie was involved. Todd Chrisley also admitted he has people that watch Lindsie's social media activity. They bring it to his attention anytime he or any of his family members get mentioned. It was recently brought to his attention that Lindsie mentioned Todd wasn't really her biological father on social media, and Todd wanted to address this accusation. Todd, however, responded to the accusation with kindness. He noted that if he wasn't really her biological father, he hoped she had a better relationship with whoever really was. Todd Chrisley, however, was who raised Lindsie and her brother Kyle. He reminded everyone he stepped in as both mother and father when Lindsie and Kyle's biological mother left them behind and never looked back. Now, an opportunity presented itself and Lindsie Chrisley responded to the biological father drama in the comments of her own post. In response to a comment on her own Instagram posts, she noted that she has never questioned the paternity of Todd. She added that it sounds like a story someone created with the hopes of getting more clicks/views. While she didn't outright point a finger at her father, she more or less implied he was stirring drama. And she implied he was stirring drama so he could get more views and clicks on his latest podcast episode. In Todd's defense, he did not say he saw Lindsie mention that he was not her real father. He explained that someone who watches her account informed him that she was discussing it with her followers. So it is possible the person who told him this just misunderstood something, or perhaps they were trying to stir the pot. Do you think Todd Chrisley would lie about Lindsie just to stir the pot for views? Or is Lindsie Chrisley full of it? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. And keep coming back for the latest on the Chrisley family. The Chrisley family saga continues to unfold with the kind of intensity that even reality television couldn't fully capture. Lindsie Chrisley, the eldest daughter of Todd Chrisley, has seemingly reignited an already smoldering feud. This time not with loud accusations, but through quiet implication. The kind that stings more than shouting ever could. Her latest social media activity, paired with subtle commentary on her podcast, has stirred speculation that Todd, the self-proclaimed patriarch of perfection, might be fabricating or exaggerating drama just to stay relevant and rack up views. As fans dissect every post, story, and cryptic caption, one question lingers. Is this a family fracture too deep to heal, or a carefully crafted performance where both sides know exactly how to keep the spotlight burning bright? The calm before the stirring storm for months. Lindsie had taken what appeared to be the high road. She distanced herself from the ongoing noise surrounding her family's legal battles, choosing instead to focus on her podcast, The Southern Tea, where she talks about motherhood, boundaries, and healing. Her tone had softened, her posts less barbed. Fans believed maybe, just maybe, the Chrisleys were turning a corner toward peace. But the calm didn't last. Subtle shifts began appearing. Lindsie started sharing posts about energy vampires, people addicted to drama, and family that performs love for cameras but spreads lies in private. Without naming names, she created a puzzle her audience was eager to solve, and every piece seemed to fit Todd. One post in particular, where she wrote that truth doesn't need a stage, sent the fandom into overdrive. For many, this was a veiled jab at Todd's podcast and his recent prison call-ins, where he has spoken emotionally, and at times dramatically, about betrayal, loyalty, forgiveness. Todd's return to the public eye despite serving time. Todd Chrisley hasn't faded into obscurity. Quite the opposite. His voice echoes weekly through Chrisley Confessions, the podcast he co-hosted with his wife Julie before their incarceration. Through recorded messages, letters, and guest hosts like Chase and Savannah, Todd continues to engage fans, offering updates about life behind the wire, his faith journey, and reflections on his family's betrayal. However, his tone hasn't gone unnoticed. Some listeners find his words to be heartfelt. Others sense theatrical undertones. His sharp quips, grand analogies, and cryptic references to family snakes or those who sold their souls for clicks often sound like polished scripts. That's where Lindsie's implications hit hardest, because they seem to question whether Todd's storytelling is genuine or curated for engagement. In the era of podcast monetization and social media virality, a captivating narrative can be as valuable as any endorsement, and Todd knows how to command attention. But for Lindsie, who's building her own identity outside the Chrisley machine, this spectacle might feel like a never-ending loop of manipulation disguised as redemption. When healing becomes performance, Lindsie's recent actions suggest she's weary of the emotional carousel. While Todd publicly claims he's been wronged and misunderstood, Lindsie's tone implies the opposite, that his victimhood may be a mask, not a mirror. Her podcast episodes have increasingly focused on topics like narcissistic parents, boundaries with family who lie, and protecting your peace from those who profit off pain. Again, no names. Yet the alignment with her father's behavior is too precise to ignore. What makes this dynamic fascinating is the unspoken dialogue between them. Lindsie doesn't need to tag Todd or call him out directly. Her followers know the code. Todd, in turn, doesn't name her either, but his veiled comments about children who turn their back on love or ungrateful people who rewrite history are just as pointed. Each message fuels the cycle: subtle shade, public reaction, media coverage, and, inevitably, more views for both. The social media chess game for Lindsie. Social media isn't just self-expression. It's a chessboard. She moves carefully. Each quote, post, and story share calculated to convey truth without confrontation. Her captions are cryptic yet emotionally charged, laced with phrases about people addicted to control and truth eventually catching up. Her followers have become amateur detectives, decoding which post references which family member. The internet has turned the Chrisley saga into an interactive narrative, and Lindsie knows that mystery drives engagement. Ironically, the very thing she accuses her father of, stirring drama for attention, is also what keeps her name trending. The difference, perhaps, lies in intent. Todd thrives on control. Lindsie seeks to reclaim hers. A daughter torn between loyalty and liberation. What's tragic beneath the headlines is the emotional truth that a daughter once so close to her father now views his love as conditional. Their relationship, once filled with laughter and playful banter on Chrisley Knows Best, now feels like a ghost haunting both their careers. Lindsie's independence didn't come easily. She's spoken before about feeling misunderstood and accused, especially when rumors swirled that she had leaked damaging information during her parents' trial, claims she strongly denied. The experience hardened her, teaching her that in the Chrisley universe, loyalty often means silence. Now, as Todd continues to speak publicly, framing himself as a misunderstood patriarch betrayed by those closest to him, Lindsie's quiet resistance feels powerful. It's not rebellion for fame. It's survival through truth-telling, however veiled. Public perception and the price of the spotlight. The Chrisley fanbase remains sharply divided. Some believe Todd deserves grace and support, viewing him as a man enduring consequences yet maintaining faith. Others, however, have grown skeptical, suggesting his updates from prison feel more like a performance than penance. Lindsie's subtle accusations tap into that doubt. When she posts about those who twist words for sympathy or families that live online more than in real life, it resonates with fans who've watched Todd master the art of narrative control. Still, Lindsie's own position isn't free of scrutiny. Critics argue she, too, benefits from the ongoing feud. After all, her podcast viewership spikes every time she hints at family drama. The cycle feeds itself. Todd talks, Lindsie responds, fans debate, headlines spread.